cover your beard.
That's the only way I can. I was gonna say I'm trying to cover my beard with my shirt with a beard, and I can't. I can't do it. Come and get your BJ with Brandon and Jason. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was laughing at ourselves. I was watching back our episode because I'm one of the few people that do, and me and my mom.
That's how we have 3.
That's why we have 3 views. Yeah, me, you, and my mom watch it, and I was really laughing at I almost passed out, like trying to hold me trying to do your.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? This is episode 7 of Your Morning BJ with me, Brandon Allen, and my co-host
Jason Latona.
This is an awesome episode. We have a lot to talk about. We had a great weekend. A lot of you guys seen some of the footage already. We haven't finished the edit yet on our channel.
I wonder why that is. Jamie.
Weird. It's almost as if everyone already seen it and isn't even going to care anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, so our Jamie's behind, but we have an awesome guest tonight. We have
RVJ Jr.
Yeah, so we have lots to talk about in the episode. We're gonna hurry up and get our guest on. It is, we started our show early tonight to accommodate for his time. It is he's on the East Coast, so 3 hours different from us. But
meaning that RVJ goes to bed at 8:30.
It's his bedtime.
It is bedtime. Hey, so he's important.
Yeah. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and get him on right now. Is he in? Link is sent. So we're just waiting for him to accept.
Make sure we do talk about your new sweet ass baseball t-shirt. Get your curls, Junior. Go head over to Good Pullas. You can use your code at Your Morning BJ 15 and save 15% off all of your orders, your entire order. But you can get a new Good Pulla shirt. I'm sporting a Filthy Power shirt.
Where'd you get that thing?
I got this from filthypowerindustries.com. That's right. And I used the code Your Morning BJ 15 to save 15%.
Did it actually work?
Actually, it didn't. I just honestly, losing your virginity to a man is a very small price to pay for one of these shirts.
That's true.
So
That's true.
And are we waiting on Rob?
We are waiting on Rob.
But I think the code works. Yeah,
it does.
It does.
We've tested it.
That's good. Screw that AW Derek one or whatever that one is. Yeah, use the new Eric Spoto.
It's funny. I pumped Derek's code harder than our own, but I mean, what do I care? It's either way.
Yeah,
it's coming to me. And if it gets Derek a break, that helps me out.
That's true. And my mom's the one who's saving the most money. I'm number one fan.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, we are going to go ahead and summon the gods and ask him to have Rob.
He might be in bed by now. We missed the window by. He said 5:30 sharp. It's 5:34 because of our Jamie, who sucks as a producer, technician. But I will say your hair looks fantastic today.
He's getting stronger.
Fatter, definitely.
Fatter, yes.
Stronger. What are you weighing now? 234? Is that what you weigh? 254.
In powerlifting, fatter is stronger.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about powerlifting.
The best physique of a powerlifter looks like this.
Your thumb.
A thumb.
Oh, a thumb. Yeah, just straight up and down.
If its waist is as wide as its shoulders, you're perfect.
So like early 2000s Pamela Anderson, not a good powerlifter.
No.
Okay.
But actually, I had masturbated to those.
Yeah.
When she was on the boat with Tommy Lee.
Did you see the Hulu movie that's coming out? There's a Hulu movie. It's a Hulu exclusive, and they showed a trailer for it. And man, dude, the girl that they got, look it up look up the Hulu trailer. But the girl that they got to play Pamela Anderson, it's amazing how much she looks like her.
Really?
Like, dude, you will be like, holy shit.
Is it like current old Pamela Anderson or young Pamela?
No, it's a whole thing of the how the video came about. That's why you reminded me of. But it's like a whole thing about how Tommy Lee and that video came around.
So it looks like a young Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, dude,
I'm not interested.
Okay, no.
Older the better.
Okay.
I like them seasoned.
I'll watch it for you. Check it out. The casting looks amazing.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Rob, thank you for joining us on Your Morning BJ.
Yeah, I like the name. It's pretty good. We searched for it, and my wife was shocked at what she found when she was looking for that. She typed that in as the podcast, and I hate to tell you, you're not the first on the search engine.
Go figure. Rob, thanks for coming on the show. I'm Jason, by the way, and Brandon and I got some questions. We did our homework. We think we did our homework about you. To the people who may be watching our show and don't know who you are, again, correct me if I'm wrong with any of these. I just wanted to say a couple things real quick. If I had to sum up RVJ Jr. in 3 sentences. This is what, again, correct me if I'm wrong with any of these. I got number 1, the man who loves Australian arm wrestling. Number one. Number two, this man is not very opinionated.
No.
Number three, bicep curls are a waste of time.
True. You got me nailed.
So
also lives a very clean and studious and health focused lifestyle.
Perfect.
I also heard you're the steroid plug.
Yes, that's Brandon.
Yeah, exactly.
Brandon wanted to ask you, what your cycle was, right? That was your question.
Yeah.
Okay. So once we get all those out of the way, what's left? Tell us about Rob Vigent Jr.
All right, man. I'm just here finding myself in a sport, like a little bit of a black sheep amongst a lot of these guys. It's kind of a fitness and health industry, and generally that brings in a lot of very toolish type peoples, but I love strength and I love arm wrestling. I just don't know if I fit with a lot of the ideology and the types of people that are looming around. I'm like a 1%er in this world, and that's for a lot of different reasons. It could be because I'm not that fucking YouTuber who wants to be like, hey man, I'll say this shit that's going to make everybody like me and happy, or it could be some of my theories on strength and sport. But whatever it is, it's me, and I've been here for this long.
Authentic works.
And for the people who don't know you, can you give us a quick bio? Like, how did you get into the sport? Right now, you're currently the WAL middleweight hammer holder. We're waiting for WAL to kick back in. But tell us about the people who may not know you for coming from Brandon's world, the powerlifting world.
All right, yeah. So back in the early 2000s, I started off in a subcategory of strongman, which is now kind of popular amongst the strongmen, is grip sports. And I loved strongman, but I realized a lot of those lifts required a lot more body mass, things like truck pulling and stuff like that. And I was probably good at my weight category, but when you start talking guys like Phil Pfister, who were guys who crossed over to grip and stuff, certain things required a lot more mass. So I fell in love with the grip side of it, and then that transitioned to me finding arm wrestling. Arm wrestling was something I always did and knew, but I never found it organized. And I just kind of took to it, and I loved the person-on-person competition. And basically, since I walked in, I've been at a very high level, and I've maintained that for about 17 years now.
Now, when you said the grip thing, and it's like a real controversial thing, I started out arm wrestling in the early 2000s as well, before the internet, anything like that, and reading Iron Mind magazines and stuff like that. And one of the things I had was my arm wrestling training was my Captain of Crush grippers. Back then there was a number 1, 2, and 3. So from the horse's mouth, not that you're accomplished, like you said, in the sport, being the middleweight champion and a giant list of accomplishments in the sport. So to the armchair arm wrestlers that are out there right now, can we hear from your mouth, what's your opinion on grip strength and arm wrestling, the crossover? Are they important? What's your opinion?
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's put that shit to rest. Don't believe any of the hype that it's not. Your first point of contact in arm wrestling is hand. Now, people like to walk around and, think you need to get strapped up. I'm going to tell you what right now, if this ever wants to be real mainstream, every person I talk to cannot get their heads around how these big, strong guys can walk around with these big, strong hands and they can't hold on to each other. That blows their mind. It fucks them up real good. But really, if you look at the guys who have been the best arm wrestlers to come down the pipe, they've had the best hands and wrists, because just like grabbing a horse by the reins, no matter how big the beast, if you can direct where you want that match to go and how you want it to be, you can take a dominant position and a leverage position. And it all starts with that first point of contact. You take your guys like John Brzenk, Denis Plankovs, and all those guys. They've got a hand, they've got a wrist, and they can maneuver people how they need to. And grip strength is a direct carryover. It's just learning how to apply it. But I think anyone who dumbs it down is because they probably got a shitty hand and they've learned to pull without it.
Yeah, I have a terrible hand. I learned that this weekend pulling with John Brzenk. His hand is something else.
Yeah.
Well, that just because you don't feel good with John doesn't mean you got a terrible hand. John, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 hands to come into the sport. It's not what made John. He wasn't only a hand, but that was definitely a piece of him that was nobody really played with. Very few.
Yeah, I'm definitely more like this new style of arm wrestler coming up because I have a ton of power that I generated through strength training, powerlifting, but my hand and wrist are just nowhere near what my arm and what my back can do. So me and a strap is like 50% different. Yeah. Like literally, like Dustin Allen, for example, I pulled Dustin Allen this weekend. Without the strap, I could do nothing to him. With the strap, it's my match, you know. And even with John, I was able to stop the match with John, which is, I mean, I was super impressed and super didn't expect that at all. But as the day went on, I got more and more fatigued, and then you know, as the night went on, we're pulling without the strap. I have nothing, man. My hand is so behind what the rest of my body can do.
Yeah, and so for me. I was going to say, for me, I'm the opposite. I think I got into arm wrestling for two reasons. One, I'm from Pittsburgh. My grandmother worked in the steel mills, and she would always arm wrestle me. I think she had to get really old and sick before I could beat her. But when I was 16, I started working doing I wasn't old enough to do the work. I worked for my friend's dad owned a roofing company, and they did industrial roofing. And so I wasn't old enough to do the stuff, but I was old enough to carry 5-gallon drums. So I carried 5-gallon drums all day long during the summertime. And everyone would say to me, they called me, like, dude, you got arms like Popeye, man. You're like, they'd squeeze my hand. And I'm like the opposite. I always trained my hand. I still to this day train my hand. Alan Fisher, I have to toot my own horn, gripped up with me in San Diego. And the first thing he said to me was, he goes, man, you and your thick hand. And I'm like, this is Alan Fisher. Now, I don't have the finger length that he does. You know, his hands are like this long. But
so is his wiener.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah. He's a Christian man. I don't want to talk about Alan's wiener.
At least when he was peeing.
Okay, well, that's okay then. But
he was meat gazing in the men's room. It was kind of an accident.
Yeah, but that's a typical Tuesday night.
What else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, if you're
killing time.
Yeah. But yeah, so for me, I'm one of those people that I do believe in the hand strength. I do believe. And I just think it's
don't get me twisted. I know hand strength is extremely important.
Oh no, I'm saying
my hand's not there yet. I've been doing this for a year and a half,
and especially because how much strength you have everywhere else. So I think if you had a normal person's upper body, your hand would probably feel, because your hand feels your hand feels very strong.
Well, what this is really is basically like you guys are in those early stages of where MMA is, and one guy's a grapple guy, one guy's a striker. You're both going to land your extreme wins and extreme knockouts, and there is no right wrong. It's just a different stroke for different folk. Where the straps are so common now and so easy to get to, being a proficient strap puller is definitely an art. You know, people who now know that they don't want to play the hand game with me, they know long before they come pull me that they're going to just try to get the straps to eliminate that hand side. I don't have to like it, but sometimes that is the game that is played and it's viable. Right. As is the guy who wants to be the controlling hand guy. There have been champions come down the pipe to play that. And I think that as you progress, Brandon, with your hand strength, you'll notice it will help you in the straps to gain more ground and then in turn transfer more power. It's like having street tires on and then putting racing slicks on. You're going to be able to transfer more of that power to the arm, you know? Sure. So, and for you, you're going to be able to just take more and more control, which will then amplify your power. So really you're both on the same trajectory. It's just different paths of how you're getting there.
Right. True. Rob, one of the things I actually wrote down is when the actual serious stuff I was going to talk about. One thing I personally love is I love that you always do MMA analogies. Not always, but I love that you're MMA, because as a guy who grew up as a martial artist as well, I've been watching UFC since the first one. You know, me and my dad ordered UFC 1 in 1993, and I've watched them all. I'm a big fan. And it's the thing I like about it's so cool when you meet the people who understand the combat side of arm wrestling and can appreciate that, because it's like you said, when you give these MMA analogies, I love them. I look at arm wrestling a lot, right? Like the way people look at grappling matches. Habib Nurmagomedov is to me the most amazing martial artist. But if you want to sit and see dudes get their head knocked off, he's boring and he's a hugger and all that stuff like that. But if you're a true fan of the sport, and if you've ever been on the floor and you ever grappled someone and you understand the level that a high level black belt or high level wrestler, it's amazing to me. And that's what I think it's so cool. The people that can arm wrestle with that type of, bring that kind of thing into our sport, you know?
Right. And that's some of the best interactions I've had with people that were fans that would come out to some of these shows. We've had martial arts whole schools come out and they were curious about it. And as soon as I lay it to them, like, hey, yes, this is a strength sport. But then I show them things, and when they already understand things like judo, they're not taking a person, literally picking them up and throwing them. they're using a lot of body mechanics and leverages to hip toss people and stuff. And as soon as I show that to them, you can see their eyes. They're kind of like, this is amazing. They love the idea that there is a body manipulation in a way of course, strength is the ace, but then it's what are your other 4 cards? Like you can manipulate people, and it really in its own way is like a martial arts of sorts in manipulating people. And I use those a lot because I think it is more combat than it is just strength sports. And this isn't a knock on any kind of powerlifting or anything, but if you lift 300 pounds in the United States and you got a meet to go to and you go to Sweden, you're probably going to lift 300 pounds. And 300 pounds are the same worldwide. Whereas people are always evolving. Forms that can evolve round to round, variables can round to round. And as soon as you start making it person on person, the shift in the things and the variables that can happen, even with something as simple as heart, can change a whole outcome.
Absolutely.
So it's more combat than it is like just straight linear.
Yeah, absolutely. It was something I said. Brandon and I were really confident going into the Larry match. And because of that, we thought, and Brandon and I both talked about this. It's not like we're talking crap about Brandon or about Larry or anything. We're just kind of, me and him, when we talk, we try to be as realistic and honest with each other as we can. And I said, I think in a tournament, Larry would actually do better in a tournament than Brandon would, because he may be able to just go through people and just use his power and take them out.
And get a rest.
And get a rest, where Brandon, but in a super match, we were like, man, if once that match stops him and it's not round 4,
that's over.
It's over. And Brandon said that if you watch his match after round 3, you just looked at the camera and you're like,
I watched it and I loved it. I think it was a fucking amazing win. I watched it, and when he did that face to the crowd, it was almost like I do the exact same face when my wife's panicking. When my wife is panicking in the crowd, and you freeze it, and you can feel them blow their load, and you kind of go,
yep,
it's Cook City.
After
I saw him do that, I was like, "Oh, he's on! It's on now."
I knew it was over after, honestly, the first round. Like when I stopped it, I think Bill called that first one a little early, but either way, I went over to my wife, and you can see the kind of look of panic in her face. Then I was like, "It's okay." I was like, he's already gassing." The second round, I made that mistake. I came up early into a hook instead of flat hand. Larry pinned me pretty easily, but I knew just by the way it felt. I was like, "He's done." So I went to my wife. I told her he won't win another round. It's over. And then sure shit.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really awesome to watch. Now, Rob, you have a huge match coming up in March, correct? In Dubai with Under the King of the Table banner, not banner, King of the Table 3 against one of your really good buddies, if I'm not mistaken, your top 8. I think he's still in your top 8.
Isn't that why he got into the sport? Was because of Bowen?
I think so. Yeah. Well, he's just he's on your top 8.
But it's hard to chase somebody that's on the level of pedestal he's on is bigger than the Burj Dubai itself. So all I can do is look up and hope to get close.
Me and my wife, man, we like to participate in the cannabis for therapeutic reasons. And we had that on, man, the episode with you, Neil, and Ryan Bowen. And we were just cracking. It was just awesome. I mean, it was just awesome. I thought it was so great. I don't know why you won't just dive into a sideways supinated hook with him. That blows my mind. I don't know why you won't do that.
Right, but the problem is, it's not that I don't want to. It's like a girl that will fuck on the first date, but then if you ask her to fuck on the first date, she almost gets weird and defensive. It's like if you just bought the wine and put the movie on Netflix, you probably would have got it. When you ask for it, now it's like expected. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's like, you can't sit there and be like throwing a handicap. If you pushed my buttons enough and we landed there, if he was at the starting line, force it, I'd say, "Let's go, motherfucker." When you're like, "Oh, supinate with me," because you're too scared about all the other elements, and it's kind of like you're playing the pussy card, a little bit, and I don't like that. That pisses me off.
That's funny. I would.
So he's almost asking for a favor he's asking for a favor cloaked as I'm avoiding his supinated bullshit hook.
And like I said, Brandon and I, before we got on here too, Rob, we wanted to say, because like I said, I don't know you, but watching somebody else and seeing you interact, I was just like, I just want to get Rob freaking riled up. I know he can. We'll get him all fucking hyped up and shit.
Yeah, man, it's not too hard. I'm an emotional person.
I feel that.
I would even say I get unhinged.
Easy.
Oh, I definitely.
FYI, on that card, I tried to get Brandon back out there. I didn't know if he'd be interested in going, but I pitched it to those guys, because they told me the card, and I thought, instead of who they had lined up for Larry, well, I don't know how Larry moves on past what happened. I thought that a rematch with Brandon would be better to cement it, because he probably wants to show through his training that he's better and learned, and Brandon probably wants to show that it's not.
That's definitely coming. They told me they were bringing me back out in 2022. They just haven't told me what card yet. Larry texted me the other day and told me he was ready for a rematch because he just now learned how to press. He's done it like 3 times, so he thinks he's ready. But I think that I think it would be mistaken for me to Larry have a rematch this soon. I think it would go the exact same way, maybe even 6-0. But they said potentially maybe another match for me with someone else. I think Larry needs a win though. Larry needs to pull someone that he's going to get a win. I think Callie is the right choice because Callie is a monster. He's just not training arm wrestling. So I really think Larry could get that win. And it's someone that we kind of all respect just because of all the people that pulled Callie and said how strong his hand is. I don't know. I just think Larry needs a little more time to practice.
Double-edged sword though, right? See, when they pitched the Khaled Larry match, the same people from the same camp are trying to promote both these guys. So they got 2 prize horses. What in the combat sports don't you want your prize horses to do? Lose.
Right.
How can you guarantee that one of the 2 prize horses is going to lose?
Have them go against each other.
Put them against each other. So Khaled is a guy that hasn't had an official super match yet. So you don't want him to lose his first outing because then his stock goes to shit. And Larry will be 0-3 if he loses. So then 0-3 in combat sports is basically like find a new sport.
Right.
So you got these 2 guys you're trying to build and you got them banging each other. I said, nah, man. I said, you got to bring someone else out. And because you guys and Larry come from the same pedigree, I didn't know when, but I'm like, you got the same amount of experience, same pedigree, same, you got history now.
Do you know that German bodybuilder that's now in arm wrestling, Leonidas?
No.
He's a mutant. I mean, just.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He looks the part too. Yeah.
I think you froze. You guys.
Yours? Good?
Yeah, we're good on your end.
I'm good now.
Okay. Yeah, no, Leonidas is a bodybuilder who's been arm wrestling for probably 2 or 3 years now, maybe a little less than Larry. Larry and him actually pulled in training a few years back. And but Leonidas is taking it super serious now, and he's a really good left-handed guy. I think Larry should be taking that match left-handed against another genetic mutant that just looks the part and look awesome on the card for promotion. I truly think Larry can beat that one left-handed. But obviously they went a different route. They went with Callie. Now this just could mean that maybe they reached out to Leonidas. It didn't work out. They haven't planned for a later match. I don't know. I'm not involved in the production, but that's what I was hoping for was Leonidas.
And for me as a fan too, and as your friend, I like doing an MMA reference like Rob likes to do. For me, it's cool when you see the guy lose the fight, but come back, win dominantly against another dude, and then he goes, look, man, it was a one-off, it was a fluke, give me my fucking title shot. And that's what I want to see. I want to see Larry get a win before him.
Same here.
You want to see the rebuild.
Right.
Absolutely.
The building back up.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a lot. If he beats Khaled and then they want to have a rematch, I'd be stoked. I'd be like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Great opportunity.
Well, the rumor is they might be, well, they've already got 3 of these set to go. It's just a matter of where, right? So I imagine the end of the year, they'll probably have, they're going to have 3, 4, 5 from March on. So who knows what the plans really are. They're going to stack up the cards, I'm sure.
So, Rob, one question I really want to ask you on a serious note, with training or with all this whole your match coming up, a 2-part question. Number 1, I know you saw the lock. I know a lot of people asked you about the Lachlan and Todd match coming into it. Did the match, in your real opinion, like no bullshit, trying to get under Ryan's skin or favor Todd or whatever? But how did the match go compared to what you thought? And then the second part of that question is, did it change in any way, shape, or form your opinion of you and the match with Ryan and how that's going to play out?
All right, so I thought that Todd was going to win the whole time because even if it stopped, I figured it would have stopped in a place that was favorable for Todd. And then it comes down to endurance and being comfortable at high level pulling. So I think that favored Todd. I just thought there would have been a few more in there. I thought it would have degraded as it went further. So I think maybe 1 or 2 would have been a little bit of tussle, and then it would have degraded to the point where Todd was very comfortable. But Todd was just flat out stronger, which didn't surprise me, but I was open to the idea that it could have been close.
Yeah, we thought the same.
Did it change my opinion on Ryan Bowen? No, man. When you're dealing with fucking crazy people, nothing surprises you. This dude gets on there and plays guitars and tries to be Tony Robbins, and I don't know what this dude's doing next. Nothing surprises me. This guy told me he's training on a riser, and he's doing all kinds of shit. So, I mean, at this point in time, does it change my thoughts on him? No, my thoughts are staying perfectly.
You're still nervous.
Bow and arrow straight. He's a crazy mother.
No, I know you've also said you say those wonderful accolades about Ryan, but I know you do respect. And you said on the show, you're like, dude, I respect you, Ryan. I respect you for what you did. I know you said that, and which is cool. Because again, I don't think you talk shit for the sake of talking shit. I actually think you're like Brandon and I, where we say what we believe is our truth, and if it comes out as talking shit, well, then so be it.
Fight me.
But you're right. But you're not doing it for the sake of
Not to be hurtful.
right, not to be hurtful or not to say anything that you don't actually believe is true. Do you think Lachlan? Do you think you and Lachlan would have been a better match if you're talking about actually Australia, like on a separating yourself?
Yeah, well, Lachlan's clearly a lot better. So let me rewind and just say about Ryan, in real time, like real perspective. I've always given Ryan the nod. He's a good arm wrestler, does understand the game, and he's growing fast. And he's a good arm wrestler, no doubt about it. How good, we don't know. The problem was he was always projecting himself up in people's faces, way premature, and so much to the fact that on his YouTube he would cut people down. Now he's not just asking for the match or anything; he would cut them down to try to convince it to try to get the shot or to try to like put himself on people's level. That's where the problem lied. And then when I'm like, dude, you're like a bum. It's not really that he's a bum. It's a bum when you're comparing him to me and Todd Hutchings
Right.
and the people who are on that level. He's B-list when you're talking A-list. But would Lachlan be a better match? I think so, because I think that Lachlan's the best guy to come out of Australia, and he's probably has a lot more torque. And at the end of the day, I think the deciding factor in some matches is you can know all the tricks and kung fu grips and shit in the world, but if someone's just too ape for you, it's just not going to matter. Yeah. Ape will reign supreme.
And horsepower only goes so far in a 6-round match as well. Like Larry has much more horsepower than I do on the table. There's very obvious. And I've said that from the get. I knew Larry had more horsepower, but when you go 6 rounds, it changes things. So Lachlan, his gas tank, is in question. And I just think that he'd burn out against someone like Rob as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Brendan and I think we thought going into it, and I like Lachlan. I think Lachlan's a great dude.
He's a good dude.
Todd was on the show, and I really thought Lachlan was going to have enough speed to do what kind of Zoloff and Corey did, at least a round, maybe 2, before Todd kind of gets in his thing and gets into when that first round. It was funny. I don't know if you watched that Devin Laird's viewing party, but that first round where Todd did the kind of early start, and when me and my wife were watching it with a viewing party too, and the first thing I was like, oh shit, it's over, oh god. And then when Lachlan slipped underneath, I was like, that's it, I don't need to watch, I'm just gonna, it's a formality after that.
A guy round 1 pulling out from underneath like that with a guy who's not even trying to top roll, that's a bad day. And that's part of being led astray by your training camp or limited by your training camp, because the guy probably stands head and shoulders above everyone else in Australia. So how can he ever know what his limitations are if no one's ever really able to test him?
Yeah.
He doesn't really know world level. He can only speculate. And he probably can attain that level, but he's just really he walked into something with a guy who's certified world level elite, and he didn't have that kind of experience. It's more an experience thing. It wasn't a knock on Lachlan. I think it's the problem is the real megaphone behind him was Ryan Bowen that made it a kind of a salty loss for Lachlan.
Well, so from my understanding, Rob, you used to live in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I lived there for almost a year.
Okay, yeah, because we have a mutual friend, Eric Spoto. It's kind of like what happened with Spoto. Like Spoto has all of us guys to beat up on, and none of us are strong enough to really give him what Mike Aiello was able to give him, and it showed. You know what I mean? Like it's funny that because it's funny how when someone loses and when someone wins, on how the community changes their perspective. Yeah. I just got called yesterday and was offered to do a super match versus Eric Spoto in a promotion coming up. I'm like, guys, you don't want to see that match. Like Eric Spoto will literally rip me across the table. It won't even be a match. Like what Mike did to him is something that I will not be able to do to him.
Yeah, that's the problem with the sport. Is it's in the internet. It's so cannibalistic that the variance of winning and losing. They can have guys that are like this, like Lachlan and Todd were like this.
Right.
But as soon as there was a result, Lachlan might as well go hide under a rock with fucking Crocodile Dundee posters, and Todd now is basically Thanos.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, and then the ridicule and the memes and all the bullshit that will follow probably forever. Internet's a fucked up place. Well, Eric Spoto is a certified monster. There's no hype around him. There's no overstated bullshit. The guy is a monster. He got put in a place with another really strong guy who plays the fucking Guido card really well.
Yep.
The dude is what, 6'6", 6'7",
Yeah.
and he sits there and throws his shoulder on, and he's not some weak little ass, tall ass dude using his leverages. I think Mike's benching almost 500 pounds, and he can get his shoulder on there and crush down. And when you're palm up trying to curl somebody who's quick and efficient at getting you on your bicep and they can lay on you, you better start breaking out world record breaking curl numbers if you want to come through a guy with a shoulder that tall and strong.
Which Spoto doesn't have. But Spoto notoriously has very weak biceps. He's press monster, you know what I mean? But not a curl monster. He even he laughs at my curl videos. He's like, "Why are you curling so much weight? That's crazy. My biceps would tear if I did that." I'm like, "What? Really?" Like it's just crazy to me.
But everyone thinks of him as something.
He's got 24-inch fucking arms. It's all tricep, right?
Yeah,
well, yeah, his tricep is so big. So when I used to train with Spoto, I loved it because I would let him push that from center table across, and he made my center table and bottom end arm so strong because his lane coming once he gets to that sweep and can come down on you with all that chest and tricep was as strong as anyone I felt. And I've trained with John and Gary Cataract and all the big pressers, and that was so strong that when I was pulling with him in Vegas and just that hard negative, you know how it is when you work out to that 110, 120, 150%, that constant rip. And when I pulled John Brzezinski out in the desert in a hook, and he went to go pin me and throw a shoulder on it, was like, throws it right up.
Yeah.
And that was from training with that dude.
John doesn't have the same. Yeah, John doesn't have the same power as Spoto. I've pulled them both. I was able to stop the match with John. I can't stop the match with Spoto. Yeah. He'll break my.
The difference is John will be a full spectrum. So John, if he fell into that lane with Mike Aiello,
he would know what to do.
Beat Mike Aiello.
Right.
Because his bottom end arm here is so strong.
Right.
But he doesn't have that same finishing strength. So Spoto's stronger from 12 to finish. But if you knock him a little bit off here, which let's not get it twisted, guys. By saying his bicep is weaker, he's still probably world level bicep.
Sure.
He's just not that point at 1% of the other guys who are like curl and bicep monsters that move in the sport. Very few. But he would probably grab 99.9% of other guys, just hold him here and then pound it sideways. I mean, he's not overhyped. What it is he got into a match that was very unorthodox for him. And Mike is surprisingly quick.
Yeah.
He's surprisingly quick at initiating that down.
Yeah. Well,
but, I mean, people would be surprised if they start trying to gauge his level and give him bunnies because he's going to hurt you. If you ask me about him and Larry, I'm like, I think he'll run through Larry.
Oh, it wouldn't be a match.
Yeah,
it won't be a match.
Yeah, it won't be a match. No. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm friends with Eric and I like Eric a lot. And when Chance backed out and Aiello came in, I was like, shit. I thought for me that was the one style that would really give Eric some problems because he's so much taller and he can come crashing down. And like to echo back, like what you were saying, like what happened with Lachlan or Ryan or even like Spoto, when you don't have a dude, you know what it feels like to have a dude stronger than you in an angle, any angle that puts you in somewhere you're like, freak, I'm working now. Someone like Spoto and someone like Lachlan, they didn't have access to those guys. Todd knows what Dave Chafee feels like. Todd knows what Jerry Cataract feels like. Todd knows what you feel like. So there's nothing that he was like, oh my gosh, where I think Lachlan got a whole lot of unexpectation all happen in that first round. And same with Eric Spoto. Yep. A whole lot of, I've never felt this shit before, where guys like you, guys like John, guys like Todd, guys like Chafee, you guys have felt guys that have made you feel human.
Hey, so Rob, knowing Spoto, like we do, but you are a much more seasoned arm wrestler than us and know the industry way better than us. Who was a match that you would like to see for Eric? Like I have an idea of, I know who Eric wants to pull, but I want to hear from you. Who do you think would be the match that you want to see Eric Spoto against?
Well, because Chance was rising good, I like that match, but I definitely picked Spoto in it. I think he would want a good heavyweight, but the problem with heavyweight class is they're good, and then there's a big gap that goes to those few elites.
Freaks, right.
And the other elites are very unorthodox for him. I think with his tricep pushing, it depends on his stamina. Someone who's not as quick center table that he would let him engage, like Michael Todd would be nice. Someone that would let him get in his defensive lane and not explosive. Like, that'd be really hard. I'd have to think on it. Who does he want to pull? And I'll see if I like the match.
Well, who we both said previously, the match that I originally tried to get set up for him was Chance Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that because Chance has gone a good run. It's really, I think once Eric has a unique problem, and his problem is he's such a social media presence and a strength presence because he set the world record, one of the all holy grails of all strength record.
Right.
So people, that's the number one thing, right? You can have forearms this big and arms this big, and people go, "What do you bench?" Right. You can have quads this big. What do you bench?
Yep.
It's the common thing. You guys probably get it more than me. The problem is when you're that big and people associate that you're that dude, you should win. You've got to be able to get your head around. You're going to be under the eye of scrutiny that you might pick up some losses on the way to that learning curve. But if you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable at practice and even taking some L's and has a good team around him, then it really opens up to him to pull any of those guys. But as he sits right now, a lot of the top guys are too awkward. And I think Chance is good, but like
Corey West,
Corey West might be a little bit too much up top. I think that's a guy that, like, Eric is a world-class weightlifter who's a very good arm wrestler. I think Corey West is a very good arm wrestler who lifts weights.
Right.
What do you think about two names real quick? If traveling not a thing, but if traveling is a thing, what do you think of Ron Bath? What do you think of Matt Mask?
I think Ron Bath is a good match. I think Matt Mask, Eric will have to get comfortable, at least to some degree, pulling from his bicep, even if it's only here, or at least getting comfortable being a little, because Matt's so proficient at least hitting and going first. I think that Max, I think he can push through him. And oh, holy hell, if it gets to center line, it won't even be slowing down. In my opinion of Eric's coming up, you don't need to talk about it. The guy broke a record that stood, 20 years, and a ridiculous number that seemed unfathomable. So his tricep and shoulders and all that changed. And when I went to his house in Vegas, he was pulling tons of weight, and he was super motivated, and he was super strong, and we had a really good team. All of us, every fucking one of us, including the 17-year-old girl who trained with us, went to nationals in Salt Lake City and crushed our classes. We all leveled up. Lenny Lockhart, Ryan Costantino, Danielle, me, and Eric was supposed to go. He couldn't make it. I think his cousin, I don't think he went, but we all decimated all our classes because we all just were so hardcore. But he was set up like his house, his living room. He's definitely got the goods.
What year was that, Rob? What year was that?
2008.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we're
getting I ever did ketamine in my life. The only time I ever did ketamine in my life was in Eric Spoto's living room. I was like, I thought I was walking on the fucking moon. I was like, thanks, guys.
Sounds like Thursdays. Awesome. Hey, well, we don't want to keep you too much longer. I know it's late on your end, but just, we wanted to talk about things that you haven't already been talking about on all your other shows that you've done. But, we got a few minutes. What is it that you're looking forward to in Dubai? What is it you're not looking forward to with your match with Ryan? Do you have any questions for me on how that went? I mean, I'm just...
Okay. Yeah. I like that. So what am I looking forward to in Dubai? I'm looking forward to the experience of opening up the doors of what could be. What, like, that whole production looks like they're growing, and where we're moving in social media, we all have YouTubes and stuff, and it just seems to be a beating heart that there's nothing but opportunity growing and leagues coming up. So I'm looking forward to that part. The part I'm not looking forward to is the unknown. I don't know the rules in Dubai, and honestly, I'm worried that Ryan for views is going to try to trigger me and like push my buttons in a way for views like he did with the pushy shove with Lachlan. And I'm a hot trigger, and I don't want to get myself in a jam in some Middle Eastern country, to be honest with you. So I'm worried about Ryan's shenanigans, and I'm worried about, I don't like flying either, but that's a long fucking flight.
Yeah. It took me 22 hours to get there, and it took me 32 hours to get home.
That's not really comforting. That's twice as long as I was planning.
You're not as wide as I am, so you'll probably have a little easier time.
That's what I'm going to say. The biggest thing, don't let Larry book your tickets.
Book your own fucking ticket. That was my mistake. But yeah, dude, it's a Muslim country, so it's a little different than what we're used to in America. There's no alcohol. There's no pot. There's none of none of the goodies. You know what I mean? Me and John Brezink were looking around for beer at 1:00 in the morning, running around the streets of Dubai. We couldn't find any. It was pretty cool.
But don't they have it at like hotels and stuff?
Not the hotels we were at.
but like you can get it at a restaurant. You go for like wine and shit,
Not
right?
the restaurants I went to.
Oh, geez.
I know it exists out there at like the higher end spots, but I wasn't there to spend money. You know, I was there to compete and take care of business. So
I understand.
Yeah, I hide out in the room, and yeah, I don't drink for months before a match, anyways. But after the match, obviously we wanted to celebrate, and just couldn't find any alcohol. It was horrible. I had to wait till I got home to have a drink. But in terms of kind of like what you're saying, your fear with Brian kind of triggering and setting you off, you're gonna be fine, dude. Like you guys are gonna be in a gym. Really cool. The owner's super cool. It's part of the promotion and stuff like that. You're if Brian gets you wild up and you get a little wild, you're not going to get any in trouble. Not in that facility. If you did it out in the streets, different story. Mind your P's and Q's when you're in public. But in terms of you know, what you do in the privacy of that gym.
I mean, hey, Brandon was kissing Larry.
I kissed the guy. You know?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was kind of like, I heard that can be big trouble, but I guess when you're
In public.
setting,
In public can get you in trouble.
As long as you're arm wrestling afterwards, you can make out with a man. It's totally okay. Yeah.
My wife was there, so it's not gay.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's super. You know, yeah, it's not gay if he sucks your cock.
As long as your wife watches.
gay for pay, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's only gay if you fall in love.
Yeah, and you guys are on and the pay-per-view has to be under or over a certain amount. The pay-per-view is under a thing where it doesn't classify as porn. It's desperation at that point. So.
Hey, well, we appreciate your time, brother. Is there anything you want to plug? Anyone you want to thank? Shout out your channel, anything like that?
I know, man. Like, I just glad to be on. I watched a couple of your shows. I think you guys are doing great things and trying to just embrace this side of the community, and I love it. I'm not a plug happy dude. People can check my shit out, but hey, I'm just here for simple conversation, and you guys got questions, I got answers, and vice versa. So, I mean, feel free to reach out at any point in time if you want some unfiltered, unbiased, not trying to please everybody bullshit.
If you want a response from Rob, you have to reach out to his wife, as I've learned.
I was gonna say, Rob, this was an awesome episode, man. Thanks for coming on. We'd love to have you on again, even if we don't talk about nothing arm wrestling. Just because I just think I'd actually like to talk to you about shit that these probably on your mind, and me and Brandon both probably would. That because we know you're uncensored. You say it. What you don't have a problem being unapologetic.
We could have him on after his trip with Ryan and talk about his trip in Dubai.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, because I know you're like us. You're unapologetically yourself, and we love it, man. Stay white. That's my advice.
Much appreciated, dude. I love it.
All right, brother.
Thanks
for coming on, man.
Listen, stay doing what you're doing. Don't think that you weren't as strong as Larry, because really, you weren't as strong as him in the conventional sense. But because you were stopping him, you were stronger in other lanes. I hate when people say that shit. Like, I wasn't as strong as him because you weren't in a power hook. Well, you had lanes you were stronger than him. Yeah. Don't discount the top roller, and don't be afraid to be Big Willie.
I appreciate you, brother.
Unipig, I'm out.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, so that was awesome.
Awesome episode with RVJ, Rob. That was a lot of fun. He's kind of what we expected. Super cool, unfiltered.
Yeah.
Spoke his mind, answered a lot of our questions. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it could have gone much better.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guy. It's so nice when someone's a conversationalist with us. There's the uhs and ums come when we're forcing it out of people. But that's a conversationalist. That's a dude. Like I said, who's unapologetically himself, doesn't care what after he says it, he's not gonna be like, oh wait, babe, was that? Should I have said that, or should I have not have said that, or I don't want to be like. I love that kind of stuff.
Now that we've dedicated almost half this episode onto someone else, let's be our normal narcissistic self and talk about ourselves.
Thank God, I hated talking about it. It's so hard.
It's so this rubber band off my nuts.
It's really hard.
All right, so let's talk about me.
Yeah, let's talk about you. And
yeah, so some of you guys may have seen the footage. Tom, what's Tom? How do you say Tom's last name? Stubblebine.
Our
buddy Tom Stubblebine.
Yes,
he's on Team Las Vegas Arm Wrestling. He posted some of the videos. Probably had the best camera angles of what's available currently of my first match with Dustin Allen. You were there.
I was there. Don't screw that. Your wife took better videos.
I know,
I
but
should watch on your channel.
My wife sent them to Jamie, and Jamie still hasn't edited it.
God,
I haven't gotten all of them.
Well, before you leave today.
You know, maybe what we should do is maybe send the videos to McDonald's where he always hangs out.
Might as well.
And then he'll get them done because he's just there eating Big Macs. They do, so he'll get some shit done.
Yeah, so you can catch those videos currently on Tom's channel, which actually got a lot of views, or on John Brzezink's channel. My match with John, his wife Renee was filming, and Renee's this tall. I can't even see over the table, so it's a real low.
She's actually really short.
Yeah. So, but again, on my channel, probably by the time this airs, we'll have my match with Dustin.
His wife's videos, who is the opposite of Renee, where Jenny's about 6'7". With
it's funny in the comments, all these fucking douches are like, "Who's the smoking hot tall blonde?" I'm like, "Settle down. I know she's smoking hot."
I was like, Mason. His name's Mason. He's Mason McCandles. He's one of our teammates.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mason. He is a very smoking hot top blonde.
He is.
You know what's a funny story? This is a true story about Mason. Sarah and I were going the other day to the Protein House. I don't know if you've ever eaten there in Vegas. And we're walking out and we see this dude walking toward us who I think is Mason. And he's looking at me and I'm like, oh, it's Mason. And he's like, hey, dude. And I'm like, hey, man. And as I get closer, I said to him, oh my God, dude, I'm sorry, bro. I thought you were my friend Mason. He says, dude, holy shit. I thought you were my friend Mason. And I was like, fuck you. Are you
guys made out?
And we made out. No, and that's the end of the story. No, and he looked at me and he was legitimate. I thought he was fucking busting balls or something. He legitimately goes, oh my God, I thought you were my friend Mason. I said, I thought you were my friend Mason. And because the guy was really well dressed, had like a sport coat on, button down, like nice dress pants. And Sarah said to me, we should have known it was Mason. He would never dress. I said, that's true. And I said, Mason getting dressed up would be him tucking in his WAL shirt.
Right.
Like into his pants.
That would be fancy.
And wearing socks with his Crocs.
Yeah, that would be fancy.
Yeah, so that, but shout out to Mason. He's the hot blonde. Actually, your wife. Sorry, you were talking about the other hot blonde.
Yeah, no, and so my match with Dustin Allen, I thought I would be able to stop that match. I wasn't sure though. When we gripped up bare hand, I have nothing for him again. Like I was saying with our conversation with Rob, my hand and wrist are just not what my bicep and my lat are able to do yet. You know, it's evident. I've been training bicep and lat since I was 12 years old. I'm 33 now. I've been training hand and wrist for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Yeah. So it's way behind. But anyways, again, like Rob said, it's not, I know people tell me I have a strong hand and wrist and your hand and wrist is super strong. It's just not as strong. If right now my hand and wrist would probably feel weaker if I could like suck your lats. Right. You can.
Let me say, suck the power out of your. I could, I'm just happy. What am I?
Well, you could suck something out of it.
I definitely, we're 100%. I'm going to suck something off you. But what I'm saying is, if I could just take your lat strength, put it into me, my wrist would.
Dude, I'll get inside you after this.
Dude, sick.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Thank you.
So I know how many he missed so many thumb bumps. 7 at least. I know he's over here sleeping. I can see his wiener getting hard and he's sleeping. I'm like, why do you have a boner?
Yeah, and why do you keep shoving McDonald's wrappers in your pants?
He's got French fries in his pocket. And he's got ketchup in the other one. So he pulls in one and he takes his finger in his other.
That's what that is. That's what he was doing. I thought it was his period.
And his wiener's hard.
Yeah, I thought it was his period.
My wiener's getting hard looking at his wiener.
Nice. We could have used one there. All right.
Jamie.
God, he sucks.
Don't make me laugh.
Dustin Allen, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So my match with Dustin Allen went well. Obviously went well for me. I mean, I didn't try to, like, we pulled bare hand. I wasn't trying to slip. I was literally trying to turn him over and wasn't able to.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty confident I'd be able to slip if I
tell the people who don't know who Dustin Allen is.
Oh, Dustin Allen is John.
It's not your brother. No. it's your younger, weaker brother.
I wouldn't say that. He's a big dude, nice dude, strong dude. But it's John Brzezinski's training partner. And John told when we were in Dubai, John always would say, because I spent a lot of time out with John and Devin and everyone out there, and John would say, "Man, you remind me so much of Dustin." Your mannerisms and just the way you look and the way you talk.
Well, he is my brother, Dustin Allen, Brandon Allen.
We're brothers, so it makes sense. But and then so you go to pull him. John always talks about how strong he was, and I'm like nervous. So I was like, John Brzezinski thinks this guy's strong. I'm nervous because I don't think I'm very strong yet. But again, like Rob said, I am in my own right. I just my confidence is still low.
You're stronger than most of the women I know.
I would say all the women.
Not all, most of them.
That's true.
I know Sarah Backman and Gabby.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if you're strong.
Yeah, they would abuse me, and I would actually enjoy it.
Yeah. So we're going to see Sarah soon.
She abuses me.
Yeah. And have you met Mikey, her husband?
I have not.
really, really nice guy.
He's handsome. He could abuse me too.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And when you meet him, he's like, his sense of humor is just like ours, really self-deprecating and and awesome. So he's a great guy.
Actually, I think I only gas myself up.
That's true. So do I.
Yeah. So me and Dustin Allen pulled. I was able to stop the match, gas him, kind of like how my move is, and then he just gave up. Side pressure alone was able to finish it, and then I had a little bit of rest. I was cooking for the guys. And then I was like, all right, I want to pull real quick before I throw another round of burgers on. And then John Brzezinski's like, yeah, let's pull. And John hadn't pulled anyone yet. And
that was true. He was the first person. Huh?
Yeah. So we get on the table, and whether I pulled Destin before or not, I don't think it would change anything. But we got on the table, and I was able to stop the match, and pretty well.
Do you want me to tell you what Bob Brown said before you guys arm wrestled?
What do you say?
Okay, because I don't want to take any of your confidence, but Bob Brown did say
John's going to let him work.
No, he said John should not be arm wrestling today. His
because he's tired.
Yeah,
Okay. Just clear this up. John had practiced on Tuesday.
Yes.
And then and so did Dustin, and then we pulled on Saturday.
And you haven't pulled since your match with Larry.
So. No, definitely not true.
I'm kidding.
I pulled every week.
Of course.
And then John had that big practice in Utah.
Yeah.
Just maybe 5 days prior. So to his match on Tuesday or practice on Tuesday. So yeah, just act like John was in his prestige form.
No, of course. But that's what people are going to say. That's what people already say.
I don't give a shit. They say whatever they want.
Yeah, no,
as if I'm peaked right now. Anyways, I've lost 35 pounds in the last month and a half or 2 months. I've literally done blow.
I know it sucks. I your new shirt I had to give with when you said you need a 3X. I'm like, poor Brandon. He's so tiny. He's a 3X. That sucks.
I'm only 295.
Jesus,
skinny.
See, I thought it was I thought maybe it was the angle the light was hitting you because it's hard to see you. And I had to move closer because when I sat with my normal because we have our place things. I sat where I normally sit.
Butterfly.
And you're touching me. I was just going to say you're further away. There you go. That's better. It's just because you were smaller.
Yeah. So me and John pulled. I was able to stop the match. I was super happy, and I was working, and matching his surges. And then John obviously knows what to do and how to correct. He starts applying that back pressure and just sitting center table, letting me bleed out, trying to use my side pressure. I actually came in for a press at one point, and I was a little early, and then John was able to pull me out of it. I wanted to dive kind of back into it, but Bob Brown scared the shit out of me.
Yes.
He's like, don't do that to John. Don't dive into John. I was like, what do I not know?
Well, wait, that was going to say, I didn't know if he was saying that to protect John's shoulder or protect you.
I'm not sure, but either way, it scared the shit out of me.
Me too.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll just stay outside where it's safe.
And Jenny scared the shit out of me when she touched me. Her hands were so cold.
That's right. You screamed.
I screamed like a woman.
Right. We're like, whoa, what the hell just happened?
Like a little woman.
I thought Charger licked you.
No. And her hands were so cold. Now, could you feel, because when I gripped up with John, of course, I hate the people that grip up with these elites like Johns and Devins and Todd Hutchins, and and we've talked about it before. Devin is the most generous. Same with John, generous. He's not going to smash you, and that's why these people get delusional.
Yeah, I know. I let these little guys in practice beat me all the time. Yes, I let them hold me out here, and then they're real pain. I'm like, okay, great.
But
you want to try off the go?
But I think it's so weird when these guys grab and they go with Devin or John. Oh, yeah. I just think it's so strange. Anyway, but could you feel? Because just touching John, I was just like, "What is your thing?" And I heard the legendary John Brzezinski pronation, and it just feels like he's doing this, and your hand does that. Can you feel that? What does it feel like?
Yeah. So the second time we pulled, he schooled me. Like the first time we pulled, I did really well. And then obviously I gave up on it. I was just tired, and I wanted to continue to pull with other guys.
Sure. And
I didn't want to completely gas my arm. Actually, after John told me, he's like, if you would have stuck with it, you might have been able to pin me. Which now in hindsight, I'm like, God damn it, I wish I stuck with it. But whatever, it is what it is. And practice went on. But I had pulled Bob Brown right after pulling John, and Bob gave me a ton of work.
Bob's so strong.
It took everything I had to stop Bob, and I was able to press through his King's move. And then me and John pulled again. And then that time that we pulled, I was already pretty fatigued, and
I'm saying, can you feel that?
Let me get to it. If you watch the video, he literally gave me his wrist several times and then turned me back over. Center table. Out here, it's different. Out there, if he gave me his wrist, I would be able to pull him out of the shoulder, and then kind of work him back over like I do. That's kind of typically what I do.
Move, yeah.
But center table, where he's kind of letting me work, and I'm trying to get pressure, trying to get my shoulder in it, and then he would just give up his wrist, just literally flop over, and I got his wrist. I'm all happy. I'm like, oh, and then he just turns me right back over. I'm like, oh, let me stay in my lane.
It's crazy, yeah. It's what Derek Smith talked about that before. How John's pronation just is like, it's like a hydraulic.
Whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And same with Bob. Bob. I was showing Bob one of my moves, like in a hook, and they keep cracked my wrist, and they did it again. He took my wrist, and I was like, man, it sucks. I'm really training my wrist. He was like, wait, before you beat up yourself. He showed me a video of him and John pulling. Now he said, no, this isn't John at his best, but I can still take John's hand if I do my move. And I was like, okay, that made me feel a little bit better. Because again, the last time John,
I had a hard time stopping Bob.
Yeah, man. And because the last time Bob was gracious enough to grace us our president, he told me a while back, actually, he said to me, I said, can you just show me where I need to improve? And he was like, your fingers are super strong, your arm's super strong, your wrist. And that's all I focused on that. And he said, my penis, yes. And then when I wasn't working my penis, I started using my wrist and in between time. And he said it was different. So, but it's great to have guys.
Your penis was the same?
My penis was exactly the same, but my wrist my penis got smaller, but my wrist got better. Yeah, I know, right?
It makes your legs look bigger.
It does. It makes my hands look bigger. That's all true. I'm trying to do. Right. It's big hands like impossible. But what I'm saying is it's so nice to have guys. We're so blessed to have guys like Bob and John and these guys that join our practices. It's been really great.
Yeah. Now, Bob lives typically up north in Utah, but during the later months of the year, he lives in Mesquite, which is just maybe an hour and a half north of where we're at, maybe 2 hours at most. So we'll be seeing a lot more of Bob. In fact, Bob will be down here this coming weekend. I think Greg Tullia will be down here as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be. We're hoping to be hosting a practice, but I'm leaving for the desert tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So unfortunately, I won't be here. So there'll be no practice at my house. I'm sure down here in Vegas there will be a practice somewhere. Yeah. I'm not sure either.
I was going to rest, but because I was just going to give my arms a break, and because I knew you were gone, and with King of Cali's coming up, I like being fresh for those kind of big.
I was going to rest too, but I already have the table loaded to go to Glamis.
Yeah, but you pulling regulars.
No, I'm pulling Foster and Adam.
Okay,
they're strong enough.
Yeah, they're strong enough. Yeah, but you'll still be pretty rested though. But that's right. And then after that, is it the following week, King Kelly? Is it? Or
yeah, the following week.
It's already
29th.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be in King of Cali for January 29th. Derek Smith versus Tim President.
Nice.
Is that how you say it? President?
Yeah, Tim President, yeah.
Yeah, so super excited for that. Obviously, Derek Smith is a Filthy Power sponsored athlete. So we will be rooting for him. Hope he does his best. Hope his best is enough to beat Tim.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll see what goes. But like I was saying when we were having a conversation with Rob, I got a funny phone call, or not funny, I mean awesome phone call this weekend. Don Underwood gave me a call and was telling me about a promotion they have coming up in Arizona with his partner Tim. And then they were trying to.
Are they partners the way you and I are, or are they heterosexual?
I think they fuck.
Okay, so the same.
Yeah, same thing. So I was talking with Tim, and Tim was one of the referees at my event.
Oh, okay, yes.
Cincinnati Arm Fights.
I know they did.
Yep. Yeah. So he'll we're planning.
Real nice guy too.
Really nice guy. Yeah. So we're planning and a good ref. We're planning some other stuff, and we'll get stuff worked out. But they offered me a super match with Eric Spoto.
Who?
All right. Well, I literally just
never heard of her.
Kind of just told him, I was like, listen, guys, like what happened with Eric and Mikey was not what Eric's best performance. Like,
and Rob also backs you and I the way.
Right. If Eric people were saying they want to see Spoto versus Larry Wheels. No, you don't.
No, I got the most with people.
I think I have a better chance against Spoto. I really do, and Larry does.
Let's be honest. People want to see Spoto against Kyle DePue because they're close. Those guys are close. Probably. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. Eric would pull through Larry as if Larry has never arm wrestled before.
100%.
Just like he would to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But actually, no. To be honest, again, that's where styles make match. Not to say that like you alluded to that you're stronger than Larry, but where Larry pulls and Spoto pulls, right. You're not you have a better chance of stopping Spoto than Larry
Absolutely.
does.
And maybe in a 6-round super match, I don't know what I could do. Maybe Eric could gas.
Right.
But I've never seen his gas tank tested.
But in a 6-round super match with Larry, the first all 6 rounds would be that. Yeah. Just because Larry doesn't have that move to go against.
And Larry doesn't know how to counter it. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like Mikey did. Right. Yeah. He would, Larry would try to go to his power, which would feed right into Eric's, and it would be ugly.
But I think, I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, you were talking about matches.
I'm not downplaying Larry either.
Larry, absolutely. No, not
Larry's
at all.
Larry's an amazing arm wrestler, and Larry's going to be really good. He pulled Schoolboy and then me.
But what did I just say?
Not that I'm great either.
Well, we both said, though, nothing taken away from Larry. I think Larry would do better in a tournament setting than you would right now.
Absolutely.
Because I think
if me and Larry would enter the same tournament in North America, I think Larry would finish higher than I would.
I was saying in a parallel universe where you guys both enter like the pull this
side.
Yes.
And then we try to meet up in the middle.
Well, I'm just saying, if something like that, I think if you guys both enter the same tournament, like in an alternate universe, you know what I'm saying, where he pulls the same 10 guys, you pull the same 10 guys, I think he's going to be more successful quicker.
He would use less energy.
Yes, than you would.
Right.
Absolutely.
He would flash pin dudes with his power. Right. And I want to be able, I'd have to stop matches, turn them over, and then pin them.
But that's what I'm saying. I think we're always, while we bust balls and joke around, we're always fair when it comes to.
It's better to bust nuts than bust balls.
True that. But we're always fair when it comes to, kind of looking at where people are and that kind of thing.
We're better than everyone.
We are better than everyone.
Right.
Yeah, we're very honest.
I'm better than you.
We're better than you. If you're listening, Brandon and I, we're way better at that. This guy.
Yeah, we are.
our producer. We're way better than him.
Yeah.
Wait, I was going to ask you one more thing. What?
You're way better than me in talking English.
I am way better than
definitely
you.
Definitely true.
100%.
Are you better than me in speaking the language?
Yeah, talk English.
Probably the only thing you're better than me.
I'm better than at fixing my hair. I know that for sure. I'm definitely better at that.
Your pubes smell better.
I do. I don't know. Actually, no, I did. He brushed really close to me. He smells like a nice mixture of falafel and like an Arabian musk.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not bad.
When I was in Dubai, I was like, when I was walking through the streets of Dubai, I was like, it smells like Alan.
Yeah. You thought you were.
But only when we were like in the gutter.
Yeah. The sweatshops of Dubai.
Right.
Man, I was going to ask you something. Man, I can't remember what I was going to ask you. You were talking about, fuck me. I don't remember.
I'll kiss you.
I know that later on. No, you were talking about, I was going to say, the future matches with Spoto. What did you think of my thing about Ron Bath?
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have Ron's number. I talked to him when we were setting up matches for Sin City Arm Fights. He was one who we wanted to get in, and it just didn't make sense financially.
Yeah.
But someone who he told me he would love to participate in further matches. So, and he's not that far away in Utah. That might be right. He's in Utah.
No, I think Ron's in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, could be.
Yeah, I think he's in Georgia on the East Coast.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, Ron Bath.
Damn, I don't know why I thought Utah.
Because everyone else is in Utah.
He kind of looks Mormon too.
Yeah. Well, again, just how you want Ron to be from Utah. I want you to be from Montana. Right. So we can't always have what we want.
If it was up to me, all arm wrestlers would just be from Utah and Arizona.
Yeah.
So that we didn't have to.
Well, that would be cool.
So we didn't have to fly anywhere.
Well, they could be from West Virginia, Montana, but they all live in Utah or Arizona. But no, because I think that's a cool match. Because I think
I don't know if Eric would want that match.
Why?
I think he would put Ron, on a pedestal, which Ron obviously deserves to be. Okay. He's done way more than Eric has. I don't know. I don't know if he would want that match. I think Eric really wants the match with Chance Shaw.
Yeah.
And I talk to Chance every day. He's a good buddy of mine now. Helping him with training stuff like outside of arm wrestling. Okay. Just working on his overall fitness and things
Penis
like that.
size.
Penis size. I got him a good pump.
Good.
But it only works if I operate it with my mouth.
Man, he fell for that too.
He's got nothing.
Yeah, he's fuck. I'm just gonna start anticipating our dick jokes so I can point at him like way sooner. So
you need to have his leg closer so we can just kick him,
like, or maybe like a string, like a
little nipple tassel.
Yeah, you pull on it and he automatically hits the
shocker. I have that one. We have like this one upstairs that we put on my balls sometimes, and my wife presses the button.
Yeah. Tune into our Patreon on our Spotify so you can hear most of this whole last conversation. But I think, I'm not too sure. I need to make a mental note to look up. I don't know who wins between Mike Aiello and Ron Bath. I wonder what their history is. Jamie, look that up. I'm just yeah, actually look that up. I want to see what's the history of Ron Bath.
I don't worry about it.
And Mike Aiello.
Take him too long.
I know. Yeah, he has to enter into his Wi-Fi and all that stuff like that.
That would be cool to see. I would love to see that. I hope Eric would want that match because that would be a cool one. And maybe Ron. I think Ron would want it. I don't think Ron would be.
Yeah, I don't think Ron would be afraid of that.
Yeah, it would just be if we could agree on terms.
Yeah, I just the thing is, I feel like Chance is real busy. Chance got
Chance's schedule's full.
That's what I'm saying. And Chance got Todd Hutchins come. I mean, I think that's not until like September, October, but still, that's I think Chance has a lot to lose pulling Spoto. Yeah, because like I said, I think Chance has the right style for Spoto in terms of for Spoto to do well. But like what we talked about with like Kyle and stuff, that group of people that are the up and comers, the Corey West, the Chance Shaws, a lot to lose. The lot to lose. It's almost like go against Ron Bath. If you beat him, that's awesome. It shows, okay, he's if you lose, you lost to a legend. You lost to a legend. No harm in that. Right. A good looking legend. He's handsome. He and Ron Bath's a good looking dude. Yeah. He's got an enormous looking hand. Yeah. Back to Ron Bath. But what's funny about Ron Bath is every time I've seen that dude, like even when he's like, I saw him jogging in Hawthorne, he always had boots on. Did you see his dunk flopping? He had really tight. He's always in denim, and he's always like, I bet he showers.
He's covering it.
In denim.
He's hiding that monster.
He probably has to, yeah.
Right.
Especially around the kids. Oh, Jamie actually woke up and did
Jamie.
something.
Thank you. Oh, he is from Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Egg on it.
There you go. I know my stuff.
Oh, his physical skills: 9 for power, 7 for speed, 8 for hand and wrist.
But what I'm saying is, I know there's got to be a match between Mike Aiello and Ron Bath somewhere. I just can't think of off the top of my head who.
Oh, they only give him a table IQ of 8. Never mind.
Oh, really? That's lies.
God, he sucks.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Imagine if they did a thing of Spoto. His power would be like 10, but his table IQ would be like 1, like 0.5 or something like that.
Same with Larry.
Yeah. Oh,
Larry would be a power of like 9 and IQ of 0.5.
Yeah, Larry's gotten dumber since the last time he read that. That's how low Larry's would be.
Listen, I love Larry, and he, like I say, he was messaging me the other day. He was telling me how he's ready for a rematch. I was like, I honestly think he needs a little more time. To practice.
Here's the thing: even if he is right now, which he could be 100%, I still for the story to play out. Like I said, I was being serious.
Yeah, be better.
I'd like he has a win. He's like, and he calls you out with big dick and big balls.
If I beat him 2 in a row, then what?
Yeah.
Then do I accept the third?
Sucks. Yeah. That's
of course I would, but it wouldn't be as good of a story.
But I'm saying storyline, imagine he comes out, smashes somebody, even if he smashes Khaled, presses through Khaled's king move. And it's like, all right, Brandon Allen, I want you.
Khaled does do a king's move.
You want to kiss me next? You want to kiss his big black dick?
I fucking would.
Yeah. I hope he says that. He's probably not going to say that, but how cool would that be? If awesome. He got real, he picked up Adam Silver and spiked him down. He's like,
Jeez, poor Adam.
I love Adam, but it'd be cool, for the sake of the.
When I got out there, I would pick him Adam and smack him even harder.
Look what I did. Yeah, and you're like, you think you could fuck Adam? Watch me.
I'll fuck him harder. Fuck you, me.
and you guys don't even arm wrestle.
We just
Adam 5. You both double team Adam, and that's where Core Sports goes. Honestly, guys, this is where we were. I'm not sure what happened. Where are we? Butterflies.
Hey, you paid for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's Core Sports' actually business model. The whole time they've been trying to get into pornography, they just don't know how. Watch Larry, 2 power lifters, but Adam Silver, power bottom, Adam the power bottom Silver against Larry. We should probably get in this chat.
We should probably after that. I think the whiskey is kicking in. I have a lot of shit to do. I've been working all day, getting stuff ready for the desert, changing out scissor jacks, oil changes, tires, the whole 9. Batteries are done in the truck, replacing those.
You're so manly. I made a couple t-shirts.
I wore my wife's underwear when I did all this.
Oh, but thanks for Brandon. He's we're both wearing each other's products. So
it was funny. Was it John?
No, Eric.
No, this weekend.
I know what you're going to say. Eric Holiday said that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Eric Holiday was like, yeah, nice shirt, but Carl's Jr. he didn't read the curls.
Carl's Jr.
And he's like, why are you wearing curls? He said, why are you supporting a multi-million billion-dollar company type of thing? It was funny. And we're like, no, curls.
And then he got it.
We're ripping them off.
Curls.
That's the whole point.
Curls.
We're saying fuck you to the system.
Curls. Because we curl. Yeah. There we go. But wait, great show with Rob. That was awesome that he came on because short notice. It was kind of short notice for him. But
I literally secured this morning.
Nice. You're the man.
I know. I was messaging with him yesterday, or I messaged him like 4 or 5 days ago. And he just got back to me yesterday. And then he was saying, hey man, it's easier to reach out to my wife if you need to get a hold of him. So he sent me his wife's Facebook. So I was like, hey, wife of Rob, this is Brandon.
There's a lot of...
she was really nice.
A lot of relationships or fun times get involved or start by that. Hey, man, don't ask me, ask my wife. Talk to my wife instead.
That's true.
Yeah. That's cool, though. I mean, I wanted to talk to you about that. What did you think about that, what he said about... it's pretty interesting what he said about Ryan Bowen and the way he shoved Lachlan. And I never even thought of that, thought of Ryan going down.
Putting more hype on it.
Yeah. Because I think he could do that with Lachlan because it'd be like you and me hyping up.
Yeah, no, but I don't fault Ryan for that.
No.
I would do the same. If you were pulling somebody and I would gas you up as hard as I can. You're one of my best
buddies. No. He means he thought he said, what are you nervous about with Dubai? What are you looking forward? What are you not? What are you not looking forward to? That's what I'm saying. I was kind of surprised at the fact that Rob said that he thinks that Ryan could kind of go there and shove him, or I wasn't even thinking along those lines.
I think it would be fantastic for the promotion.
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome.
It would be really bad for Ryan if he shoved Rob and Rob beat the piss out of him. Like, that'd be really bad for the promotion.
Well, I'll be honest, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. I think Rob would understand what's going on. I think Rob would get pissed and probably shove back.
But the fact that,
maybe throw a punch.
Yeah.
But it would be broken up instantaneously.
But I think the fact that Rob's already even prepared for that, he's already prepared for that. So I think
so it's in his head.
Yeah, but he's already prepared, I think, to take the high ground.
Well, I think it would be great if it happened. In fact, we need to get Ryan on.
Yeah, no, but what I was saying is because the way him and Ryan in the build up to the Lachlan match, like Ryan and Lachlan shoving each other and all that stuff like that. While I think that was intense, I think it was like you and I doing that to each other.
Sure.
You know, where if a random dude, imagine actually shoved you.
In their defense, though, when they talked about it in like interviews after that happened, they both said like that wasn't planned.
Oh, I don't think it was
just
planned.
happened, and then like they were pretty jazzed up.
But I'm saying though, it's like that'd be real different than if you and I did that.
Yeah, you're right. Because we could be not planned and be jazzed up about it. Yeah. At the same time, though, like it's my buddy.
But imagine some random dude from.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And especially someone who you don't really like.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought when he said that, I was like, man, I never even thought, because again, I think of Ryan as I do think of Ryan as a great salesman. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think,
that's not disrespectful.
No, but I'm saying,
I make money.
I don't what I'm saying is though, I'm not saying he's not authentic and I don't think he's not I think all that stuff is him, but I think he's a really good salesman. And, I think, I wasn't even thinking along those lines of him possibly going down there. But now that Rob says it, that's kind of crazy.
Well, guys, we want to thank you for joining us on episode 7 of Your Morning BJ with Brandon Allen and Jason Latona. And our special guest was RVJ. Looking forward to our episode next week. We will announce who our guest is shortly before the show because we have not yet confirmed.
I was going to say, because we don't really know, because Brandon's it's Devin Larrett.
Devin would be awesome. John said he would come on.
Yeah.
We got some cool stuff lined up for you guys. And again, the whole point of the show is to not be your Neil pickup style show, which we love. Yeah. Talking about arm wrestling the entire time. We like to talk about other things.
Like buttholes.
And who has better circumference of diameter stretchability and who probably has a larger penis. And we make fun of Jamie.
Yeah. I almost
hit the red button already.
I almost passed out.